Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to my Fallout 4 Mod Spotlight series, where today we are having a look at the LAR Grizzly Win Mag mod, which is being made by user ChrisLore2882. And what this glorious little piece of work looks to add into the game is the real-world Grizzly Win Mag semi-automatic pistol, which was a gun made back in the 80s and 90s and is effectively a Colt 911 on steroids, which is magnificent. So let's jump on over here and have a look at what we do get with the Grizzly Win Mag, which in its most standard basic form will do 60 damage with a 45 Winchester Magnum round, with a firing rate of 44, range of 131, accuracy of 52, and a weight of 5. Not too bad. And as you can see here, this thing is pretty nicely made with both the texturing and modeling. A lot of good little details all over with it, which I very much do enjoy. And it has a very substantial list of modifications that you can adjust on this thing, both for its, damage and damage type. Well, not so much on the damage type, but there is, of course, some fun things that can be done there, like explosive ammunition, which I always very much enjoy, as well as a lot of good things in here for changing up the aesthetics of the gun as well, which is pretty darn cool. Always nice to have those sorts of options for your weapons. Now, as for how you get your hands on one of these lovely things, well, it's not that difficult. It is added in to the leveled loot list for high-level gunners, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You can also go to any chemistry station in the world and actually make your own down here in the utility category, where you do have the Grizzly Win Mag gun here, which can be made for just a little bit of adhesive, gears, oil, screws, and steel. And you also do have the ability to build 2 of the ammunition types added in for this thing. Of course, the standard 45 Winchester Magnum rounds, as well as the 357 Magnum rounds. So very cool there, so you won't have any issue making ammunition that you do need for this gun, though there are also some other ammos that you can add into it anyways, if you do have an excess of those. So very nice there. Now, beyond those 2 things, there are also 2 unique variants of the gun that you can find in the world via a quick little mini quest, though you can easily just come about them from just the random exploration of the world. Now, these uniques are aesthetic only. They don't have any special modifications, but they are quite nice. Now, as for the modifications we do have on these, I'm actually going to need to grab one of our existing guns because of, well, the usual issue we have of if we don't add on certain attachments, other categories don't pop into existence. So let's take a look here at this one that I modified earlier, and take a look first at the receiver category, where we've got pretty typical things of standard, light, heavy, etc., but we also get a fun new master-crafted one, which adds quite a lot of damage for this particular gun. So you can get up to some pretty high-level damage, making this gun pretty useful into the mid and even late game. Now, then the barrel category, we've just got 2 of either the standard or the short barrel. We then have the grips, where we've got quite a number of fun options, either a standard wood, a comfort rubber, comfort wood, or sharpshooter's rubber and wood variant. So very good there, and quite a lot of things that these are going to modify on the stats of this gun, which is always good to have. Now, magazines, not much options here. We either have the standard 7-round or a 7-round that's also quick eject, which will help with that reload speed. And then we have a sights category, which is a little sad until you learn in a future category that we can add a rail onto this thing. But without the rail that you see here, we just have a standard, a glow, or a hollow sun sight, which I actually really do like this thing. It's a pretty neat little sight. Now, we do, of course, have the ability to add on, we might as well talk about that rail, and that is in the accessory category here, where we can either have nothing, a mount rail for larger optics, and of course, a flashlight and laser on the bottom that can either be turned off or on. So very good right there, and does make the gun look a bit more modern-ish than I would generally care for, but still, with this rail, you get a lot of sight options, which we'll come to after the muzzle options, where we either have nothing, a compensator, or a suppressor for this thing. And that suppressor is pretty darn large, so, you know, some good silencing action there. Now then, after those, we do have the ammo category for this thing, where we have the sort of, the start with the 45 Winchester Magnum, but you can also change it to the standard 45 for the game, or 10mm standard into the game, or switch it on over to that 357 Magnum that you can also make at the chemistry station. But for the 45 Winchester Magnum, we also have armor piercing and high explosive, which I love it. Small area damage on the thing, and does top this gun out without any additional perks at 124 damage. So with some good perks on here, you could do even more, which is just beautiful. We then also do have a number of finishes on the gun for changing up the aesthetics, where we have the slide, where you can choose from a number of different color schemes here of different metals, and things like tan or olive paint in there, which is pretty cool. We also have the safety and trigger here, which can also be changed the color, though less options in here. And finally, there is the frame aesthetic option, where we have all those same ones we had for the slide up top, so just a lot of different neat ways that we can modify this thing. Now, I've either skipped over it, or it's not showing up here, which is the whole reason I selected this gun, but the options for the rail, which does seem to be the thing, so let's quickly jump out of this and actually make that our default gun. Sometimes that does have a tendency to fix that weird little issue in the weapon workbench. But there we go. Now select that, and we should have, yes, the rail top, where we have the ability to change up what we've got on that top mount, where we have an aim point sight, a Barska sight, another hollow sun, or two different scopes, one for 4x and one for 6. So a lot of fun options there, and I do like having the two different sight categories, so if you do want a more interesting sight or a longer scope, you can go with the rail, but otherwise you can just stick with the standard ones, which isn't too shabby. So let's actually go and take a look at how this thing does function, and actually switch back to the default one. There we go. And let's take some shots. And fire. And there we go. Good sound, good reload to it. Quite a bit of kick to this gun, so it is a little bit harder to control if you are just hip-firing it or even aiming down sight. But with the quick eject mag, the VATS usage isn't too bad on it, so it is, you know, quite useful in that regard. But yes, if you are just going to be aiming down sight, this is a gun you're want to fire at a slower rate, because if you do just go off on the trigger, well, you're going to be aiming at the sky. Now, as for the silenced version here, let's go to that. It also, of course, does have the explosive rounds, but yeah, I really do love the different sights we have on there. And of course, a nice little explosive shot and a nice silenced round, which I'll shut up so you can actually hear that. And there we go. And of course, with the fun of the laser, always neat to have that on there just for the cool look. And of course, the usage of the flashlight, very nice. Now, let's take a look at that hollow sun sight that I do have on this one. Very cool. And ooh, there's actually another option we forgot to talk about that I just realized over in the workbench. If you do have the hollow sun sight selected, we do get the ability to change the reticule, where you either have a circle, a dot, or a circle dot, and also a Vulcan option. I think my favorite is the Vulcan. I quite like having just that little chevron shape there. It is quite cool, but that is a neat little thing you get only with the hollow sun sight, I believe. I might be wrong, it might be on some of the others, but the hollow sun is definitely one where it does take root, and I quite enjoy it. Very cool. So let us get ourselves out of Deathclaw and see how well this thing does work against an enemy. So let's bring him in and spawn. And boy howdy, I should probably have out the other one, but hey, let's at least shoot him a few times with this particular one. Not too bad on the damage there. If I would have hit more of my shots, we could have done even more. But yeah, not too shabby in the slightest. Let's switch it over to the explosive round one, because I mean, why wouldn't you want explosive rounds in your gun? That's just magnificent. Come back, please, Deathclaw. And, oh, missed. Got him. Missed. 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 Oh, God, why do I suck at shooting? And let's take him down. Take down the body. Oh, boy. And boom. Ooh, that was him. Oh, God, missing with the fats is never good, but there we are. A good final shot on him there. Glorious. And just keep shooting his corpse with a few explosive rounds, because why not? But yes, that is the LAR Grizzly Win Mag mod. A very fun gun, a neat little addition for a pistol. You will be able, of course, find it, like I said, on Gunners or at the chemistry station, so you can get this thing pretty darn quick. And for such a powerful pistol, you know, that might be a little bit ahead of the game there, but overall, it's still just a fun gun. So if you'd like to take a look at this for yourself, which I'd certainly recommend you go and do, you can have a look at the link in the description. But otherwise, that's going to be it for this one today. If you have enjoyed, you come back for the next. But until that time, thank you for watching. As always, we'll have a good one.